Airports are one of the only places where thousands of normal adults suddenly forget how to walk in a straight line. You can be a completely functional person in everyday life, but the second you enter an airport, everything starts feeling confusing. You're looking for your airline, checking your phone, reading signs, watching the time, wondering if you're in the right terminal, trying to figure out where security is, hoping your gate didn't change, and somehow walking past the same coffee shop 3 times. And the weirdest part is that airports are full of signs. There are signs above you, signs beside you, signs on screens, signs on walls, arrows on floors, numbers on gates, letters on terminals, and announcements constantly playing. So why do airports still feel so confusing? The answer is that airports are not really designed like normal buildings. They are more like giant machines built to move people, bags, planes, workers, security, food, money, and time all at once. And when a building has to do that much, it starts to feel strange. Most buildings have one simple goal. A store wants you to shop, a restaurant wants you to eat, a hotel wants you to sleep. But an airport has to do several things at the same time. It has to check people in, move bags, separate passengers from non-passengers, scan everyone through security, guide people to gates, board planes, unload other planes, send bags to the right place, handle delays, control crowds, sell food, move workers, and somehow keep thousands of anxious people from completely losing their minds. So, when an airport feels confusing, it is not always because it was badly designed. Sometimes it feels confusing because it is trying to solve too many problems at once. The first reason airport terminals are confusing is that many of them were not built all at once. They grew over time. A small airport might start with one terminal, then add another wing, then add more gates, then connect to a parking garage, then build a new security area, then add an international section, then attach a train, then renovate half the building while the other half keeps operating. Over years, the airport becomes a giant patchwork. That is why some terminals feel like they were designed by 5 different people who never spoke to each other. One hallway is wide and modern. The next hallway is narrow and old. One section has clear signs. The next section makes you wonder if you accidentally entered an employee area. Airports are constantly changing because travel demand changes. Airlines move, security rules change, new technology appears, and old buildings become too small. But airports cannot simply close for a year and rebuild perfectly. They have to keep running while they are being changed. So the layout often becomes a mix of old plans, new fixes, temporary paths, and permanent compromises. That is why your gate can feel like it is hidden behind 3 turns, a moving walkway, a food court, and a hallway that looks like it should not exist. The second reason airports are confusing is that they separate people into different zones. Before security, anyone can usually walk around. After security, only screened passengers can enter. International passengers may have different paths. Arrivals and departures may be separated. Baggage claim is usually in another area. Employees have their own routes. Bags have their own hidden routes behind the walls. Planes have their own movement areas outside. So the airport is not one open building. It is a controlled flow system. You are being moved from public space to check-in, to security, to terminal, to gate, to plane. That sounds simple, but each step has rules. You cannot go backward easily. You cannot enter some areas without a ticket. You cannot reach some gates without passing security. You cannot collect bags in the departure area. You cannot always move between terminals after security. And because the airport has to control these flows, the path can feel less direct than you expect. A normal building might let you walk straight to where you want to go. An airport makes you follow the system. The third reason airports feel confusing is that your brain is already stressed when you arrive. At a grocery store, if you get lost, nothing terrible happens. At an airport, being lost feels dangerous because time matters. If you miss a gate, you might miss a flight. If security takes too long, you might miss boarding. If you go to the wrong terminal, you might have to start over. That pressure changes how you read the space. A sign that would normally be simple suddenly feels like a test. Terminal B, Gate C17, Departures Level. Check-in Zone 4, Security Checkpoint North. Baggage Claim Carousel 8, Shuttle to Terminal 2. None of these words are impossible, but when you are carrying a bag, watching the clock, and trying not to miss a flight, your brain has less room to calmly process them. Airports feel confusing, partly because they are confusing, but also because you experience them under pressure. The building is stressful, so every decision feels heavier. The fourth reason is that airports use wayfinding, not simple directions. Wayfinding means the building is trying to guide you through signs, colors, numbers, symbols, pathways, landmarks, and repeated information. But good wayfinding is difficult because airports serve people from everywhere. Some travelers speak different languages, some are flying for the first time, some are tired, some are late, some have kids, some are connecting from another flight, some are elderly, some are distracted, some are panicking because their gate changed. So airports rely heavily on symbols, arrows, letters, numbers, and short words. But that can make the place feel cold and coded, like you are inside a puzzle. You are not just looking for a place, you are decoding a system. And if you miss one sign, you can feel lost instantly. This is why airports often repeat information so much. The same gate number appears on screens, signs, boarding passes, apps, and announcements because the airport knows people are constantly doubting themselves. You might look at your gate, walk for 2 minutes, and then check again just to make sure reality did not change. And sometimes it did. That brings us to gate changes. Gate changes are one of the most annoying parts of airport life, but they happen because gates are not just doors. They are parking spots for planes. A gate has to match the aircraft, the airline, the schedule, the crew, the cleaning team, the boarding process, the jet bridge, and the next flight coming in. If one plane is late, another plane may need to move. If a plane has a mechanical issue, the gate may change. If weather delays arrivals, the whole schedule can shift. To passengers, it feels like the airport randomly moved your destination. But behind the scenes, the airport is trying to solve a traffic problem with giant metal tubes. The gate is not the flight. The gate is just where the plane is supposed to meet you, and that location can change when the system changes. This is why airports have so many screens. They are not decorations. They are constantly updating reality. The fifth reason terminals feel confusing is distance. Airports are huge because planes are huge. Gates need space. Runways need space. Taxiways need space. Baggage systems need space. Security lines need space. Food courts need space. International arrivals need space. And because planes cannot stack vertically like hotel rooms, airports spread out horizontally. That means your gate might be far away, not because someone wanted to punish you, but because the building has to line up with aircraft positions. This is why you sometimes walk through extremely long corridors, tunnels, bridges, or moving walkways. The airport is not just moving you through a building, it is moving you across the distance between aircraft. But to your brain, it can feel ridiculous. You passed security. You found your terminal. You think you are close. Then the sign says your gate is still a 12-minute walk away. That is when the airport stops feeling like a building and starts feeling like a level in a video game. Another reason airports feel confusing is that they mix urgency with waiting. This is one of the strangest parts of flying. First, everything feels urgent. Get there early. Check in. Drop your bag. Go through security. Find your gate. Don't be late. Then suddenly, you are sitting for an hour doing nothing. Then boarding starts, and everything becomes urgent again. Then you sit on the plane and wait again. Airports are built around this strange rhythm. Rush, wait, rush, wait. That rhythm makes people feel disoriented. You are never fully relaxed because the next step might become important at any moment. So you hover near your gate. You check the screen. You listen for announcements. You wonder if you have time for food. You wonder if boarding already started. You wonder if that long line is your flight or another flight. The airport makes you wait, but it rarely lets you mentally leave. That is why airport waiting feels different from waiting at home. Your body is sitting, but your attention is still on alert. Airports also contain a lot of retail and food because they have a captive audience. Once you pass security, you cannot easily leave. You might be hungry, bored, tired, or nervous, and the airport knows that. So, terminals are filled with restaurants, coffee shops, convenience stores, souvenir shops, and duty-free areas. This can make the layout even more confusing because the path to your gate is also a shopping area. The airport is guiding you to transportation, but also exposing you to products. Sometimes the main path leads directly through stores because airports earn money from more than flights. They earn from food, retail, parking, lounges, advertising, and concessions. So part of the terminal is a transportation system, and part of it is a mall for people who cannot leave. That is why you can be trying to find Gate 22 and somehow end up walking through perfume, headphones, sandwiches, luggage, and giant Toblerone bars. The airport is not only moving you, it is monetizing your waiting. Security also shapes the whole building. Security checkpoints are bottlenecks, and bottlenecks affect everything around them. Before security, people are worried about getting through. After security, people relax a little and start buying things. That is why many airports place a lot of shops and restaurants after security. Once the stressful part is over, passengers are more likely to spend money. The airport experience changes after the checkpoint. Before security, you are in survival mode. After security, you are in waiting mode. And waiting mode is where the airport becomes a marketplace. This is also why signs, seating, shops, bathrooms, lounges, and gates are all arranged around passenger flow. Airports want people to keep moving but not clog the wrong areas. They want you to find your gate but also pass things along the way. They want you to feel guided but not crowded. They want you to wait but not block the path. That is a hard balance. And when the balance is imperfect, the terminal feels confusing. Airports are also confusing because they use a lot of codes. Airlines have codes. Gates have letters and numbers. Terminals have numbers or letters. Flights have numbers. Boarding groups have numbers. Seats have numbers and letters. Baggage claim has carousel numbers. Parking has zones. Security has lanes. Your brain is constantly matching one code to another. Flight number to screen. Screen to gate. Gate to sign. Sign to hallway. Boarding pass to seat. Seat to row. This is efficient for the system, but it can feel unnatural for humans. Humans like landmarks. Go past the big plant and turn left feels easier than proceed to Terminal 4, Concourse B, Gate 38. But airports need standardized codes because millions of people need to use the same system. The airport does not know your personal landmarks. It knows numbers, letters, arrows, and zones. So you get a system that works, but still feels weird. The final reason airport terminals are confusing is that the airport is designed for movement, not comfort. It has seats, food, bathrooms, and lounges, but the main purpose is still flow. Get people in. Screen them. Move them to gates. Board them. Move arriving passengers out. Move bags separately. Keep planes on schedule. The building is not built around your calm personal experience. It is built around the flow of the entire system. That is why airports can feel oddly inhuman. You are treated like a person, but also like a moving part. You are passenger flow. You are boarding group 3. You are seat 24A. You are one of hundreds trying to get through a checkpoint before a departure wave. And when you see airports that way, the confusion starts to make sense. The terminal is not a simple hallway to a plane. It is a machine for sorting humans. So why are airport terminals so confusing? Because they are patchwork buildings, security systems, shopping malls, transportation hubs, crowd control machines, and stress factories all at once. They guide you with signs, but also overwhelm you with codes. They make you rush, then make you wait. They move you toward your gate, but also past restaurants and shops. They feel chaotic because they are managing chaos. And somehow, despite all of that, most people still make it to the plane. So the next time you are standing in an airport, staring at a screen, holding a coffee, checking your gate for the 5th time, and wondering why this place feels like a puzzle, Remember, it is not just a building. It is a giant machine trying to move thousands of people without completely falling apart. That's why normal things are weird.